we know there's been some, some problems on offense, right? And we know these woes is not going to look any prettier for the next couple of weeks. Okay, obviously with this whole injury with Rashee Rice, where that thing's going to go, and hopefully we'll have much better outcome and news. Maybe where he'll just miss a couple of weeks. But for me, what it looked like is when Patrick rolled into his leg, it happened to be, but I tore my PCL in the back. Now, the doctor told me that at the time, that 85% of the NFL is playing without their PCL. So sometimes you just hyperextend your knee like that. It happens, and guys heal from it. And I did. And so hopefully there's something like that. Maybe it's just strained. So if they can get some real treatment onto it, right, get into it, calm it down. We got the bye coming up too. That's another thing. So that's a good thing that early, bye with him, he comes back after the bye. So
you ready for some early bad news?
Okay.
Rashee Rice.
Okay, but who's this from?
Schefter.
All right, okay.
Feared a torn ACL.
I mean,
more testing to come.
Yeah.
But that's.
I mean, Andy Reid said going into the halftime when Tracy Wolfson asked him kind of, and if he knew anything, given the severity of the injury, he said it didn't look good. And they were talking about fear of ACL. That's not good. That's like what, worst case scenario?
I mean, they're not good. To me is like, we still got to wait and see. Really. I mean, you can't do it until you actually get a scan, MRI, to know exactly how bad the damage is. So you can speculate, and then sometimes those guys can be wrong. It might be a little loose, but sometimes knees are loose. But like I said, hopefully, with this, I mean, I can say, fear ACL. Hopefully it's not that. Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not that. I think the bad news was like, you ain't going to see him the rest of this game and maybe for a couple of weeks. So, I know when they probably looked at Andy, looked and say, hey, what do you think? They like, he's done. So,
yeah, to go from going questionable to return to out of the game so fast. Usually they leave the questionable to return for a while on there. But to go from questionable to return to out, like within like a span of 5 minutes, is it's telling.
And correct me if I'm wrong, JD. They tell quarterbacks not to do what he did, by the way. Like, he just put his head down and just drove, like, just into the play. He didn't even know where he was going into. I'm not blaming him for hurting Rice's knee, but if you look at that, he just turns his head and just barrels into the play. Forget about hurting Rice's knee. He could have hurt himself bad on that play as well. Just a really reckless play by him, just to throw himself as a quarterback into like a mix of like a oncoming stampede.
I agree with that for sure. But I think for him throwing the pick was so devastating to him. He needed to try to make amends. When the ball came out, he had to fight for it. You know what I mean? That's what his head was like. Oh my gosh, I can't throw another pick. And so what he's thinking at that moment in the game is, how do I salvage, this right here? And so when the ball came out, I think that just shows who he is, right? It wasn't like the Cam Newton thing. Cam's like, oh, I'm gonna step back. Patrick's like, shit, like I messed up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's terrible.
Obviously, we kind of mentioned how significant Rashee Rice is, how impactful he is. We talked about him being our number one option last week. And to not have him for however long it's going to be, whether it's the whole season, whether it's a couple of weeks, that's a significant amount of time to be without our top guy. But how worried are you with that being without Rashee Rice for an extended period of time? How worried are you as far as how can the offense look? And that you guys mentioned it. That's without Rice. That's without Hollywood Brown now. So it's two receivers that, we thought we were going to have this year who we won't have for an extended period of time. Now it's asking a rookie, Xavier Worthy, to step up a little bit more, a first-round pick who shined today. But
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so, how do you how worried are you guys? How concerned are you guys?
I'm not that overly concerned. And the reason I say that is because Xavier Worthy is a first-round pick. he has high expectations. And so when we look at the other guys at wide receiver that went before him, they expect them to be good. We're expecting these guys to come out and play right now. Dwayne Bowe was a first-round pick. We were expecting stuff out of him. So when you got first-round picks, you want a guy to grow up immediately. You're already saying he's game ready. And so we've seen him. He makes plays. He made a deep play today. He caught the one on the side, like I think the out route of the flat, and turns it up for a first down. So he's ready. We know that. That's the reason we went and got him. So I'm not really overly worried. Travis Kelce emerged again, coming out. He became the man. And the reality was, because Rashee Rice was so effective first few games, killing them, Trav didn't have to wear the cape. He didn't have to. They gave him the respect due to him. But now, today, he's like, okay, here, put the S back on my chest. Let me take my glasses off like Clark Kent. Let me show back up. And he did that. He made some plays. Noah Gray made some plays. Okay? Look, we still got Justin Watson, still got McCole Hardman, we still got Juju Smith-Schuster, we still got Sky Moore. Okay? We still got Kareem Hunt, who came out and did a tremendous job today, which he's going to help with the passing game. Having an effective runner opens up the pass. And I don't care who it is catching the football. So, and I'm going to talk about everybody jumping all over Sky Moore for missing the ball, okay? Immediately want to cut this guy. Well, let's cut Sky Moore. He misses the ball. Well, shit, he ain't caught a ball in forever. We ain't utilized him. Only two guys we utilized really was Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy. That was it. Travis Kelce wouldn't even catch the balls. He missed one. Patrick Mahomes hadn't been playing his best. He's been throwing picks left to right. Nobody asked to get rid of him. Carson Steele had a couple fumbles. Nobody said, "I'll bench this guy. He needs to throw him away." I heard somebody said, "I don't think he's ready." But shit, we seen him in preseason. He was ready. We see how hard he's worked. He's earned that spot. He's earned that position. Same as Sky Moore. And any of those guys believe that. They believe in him. If they didn't believe in him, they wouldn't play him. Okay, pure and simple. That's how it works. So we can feel any type of way we want to. We could be in our feelings all day. Oh, this guy needs to get cut. He needs to be gone. Well, shit, then you go up there, you get the job, and you evaluate. How about you do that? Okay? Get rid of your 9 to 5. Okay? Start going out scouting for teams. Okay? Write a little letter to Andy Reid and them and say, I can evaluate better than y'all guys can in your scouting department. All right? Put in your resume. Okay? See what they take it. Okay? You write up a couple of things, a few scripts, a couple of scouting reports, and then all of a sudden y'all make decisions. But until then, they're going to play Sky Moore because I think they trust in him. I believe that. And so if a guy misses a play, hey, yeah, he's supposed to catch. Yeah, he's supposed to catch the football. That's what we pay him to do. Absolutely. Move on to the next play. You know what he did? He made a pivotal block for the deep route to Xavier Worthy. That's what he did. But it was immediately get rid of this guy. Hell, now we could bring our guy Justin Ross back up, right? Talk about metrics and measurables. Okay, Marcus, right? Chiefs concerns. Talk about metrics. Those things matter. They matter. We got Jody Fortson just got here. So look, JD's going to go on this rant, okay? And I want everybody to hear it, okay? From a former player. Guys are going to mess up. They are. Sometimes more guys show up than not. But if immediately a guy messes up, oh, here's this guy, get rid of him and stuff like that. They ain't said nothing with Justin Watson. Might have dropped the ball or somebody's doing things. So I just, for me, it's like, calm down. Any of those guys going to make that decision. We can be critical of guys. I've said this, Marcus. You've heard me, Teja. Y'all see me. I send tweets all the time like, this dude right here is playing like horse manure right now, right? He looked like boo-boo the first half, okay? But also, too, there's an air of like, all right, I'm going to look at the second half, see how he's playing, okay? I'm just going to throw the guy away. Oh, he's a bum, throw him away, get rid of him, send him up there to Antarctica or something like that. He don't need to be playing in the NFL. But shoot, hey man, get your job making those decisions, okay? And then come talk to me.
Fantasy football doesn't count.
All right, now, hey, a lot of owners and managers, a lot of them, ton of them, Mark, Tej, ton of them. Okay, hey, look, you see my sweetie's on here right now, and I'm gonna tell you about her. So if a guy doesn't do well one week, she's like, "I'm getting rid of this guy. He's gone. He's getting." I say, "What? You gonna get rid of Jamar Chase because he had a bad game? Yeah, I don't like him. Okay, send him my way. I'll take him. Send him my way." So it's just, it is. We want these things to happen now, okay? I still have the patience to understand Sky Moore does have worth to us. Any of those guys agree with me. They do. So that's where I'm at, man. So I'll let y'all have it. I'm gonna back up.
I want to play devil's advocate for 1 second for what
Absolutely.
you just said.
Please do. Please. I want to
If
hear
you
it.
don't mind.
I hear it.
When going over, personally for me, when going over different guys, and I don't think we should cut Sky Moore today. I'm not saying I should. I'm on the other side of this, and I'm not. But when we're talking about evaluating players and saying whether they should go or stay, it's like full body of work, right? Like, and the other guys you named who messed up, Justin Watson comes up big sometimes too. He has flashes in game plays where I'm like, yes, yeah, one today, a very nice catch. I think on a third and long, if I'm not mistaken. There's positives and negatives. I think part of the frustration with Sky Moore is that I'm not gonna say every time because I don't want to say so final, but most of the time, if not every time, when Sky Moore's number is called, it doesn't yield positive results. And I can't remember the last good play he's had. So it's hard for me to support that. And my counter to you in the question form is, okay, so give me how much more of this kind of stuff before you would say, all right, we gave you the go, it's time. Like, when would be a breaking point for you to be like one of those people to be like, get rid of them, right? Like, when is enough?
So as an evaluator, somebody who scouts players,
yes,
it would have to do the whole scope and full body of work. Same thing, Teja, like you're saying. So the things that we don't see, because people only look at you for your value in catching the football, he has more work than just that. He does. And so as much as we want him to catch a football, okay, maybe that's not his role chiseled out in this offense right now.
True.
So that's the reality. We had to look at it. So when I'm sitting over, I'm looking at Sky Moore and his results, right? 2022, he had 21 receptions, 250 yards, 11.4 average, okay? No touchdowns. 2023, he was partially hurt, okay? 21 catches, 244, and 1 touchdown, 11.6 on the average. So he still had some value. He was still catching the football. He was still doing some things. Yeah, we see, because it gets magnified. Oh, my God, he dropped a deep ball. Shoot, last year before, there was a lot of guys dropping balls, tons of them. That's why we went out to try to get Hollywood Brown. We coveted it like a number 1 receiver. Rashee Rice emerged as our best option, okay, of doing some things. But there was things we were doing, particularly with Rashee Rice as opposed with Sky Moore. Things we were forcing Sky Moore to do is, we wanted to play outside at 5'9", 5'10", standing on the phone booth, throwing some deep routes to him. That might not be his forte. So they had to figure out what they want to do with a Sky Moore. So when I sit there and I say that, I could go back to the same thing with Justin Watson. There's some things he's done that he's dropped. He has come up big at times. So playing that and evaluating someone is exactly the same measure you're basing it on. The full measure, the full scope. So he might be that wide receiver that's propelling touchdowns. And when they sitting there looking at it like, no other wide receiver is blocking like Sky Moore. There's some things he does really well. And so when we talked about the value, right, because we start listening to what Matt Nagy was saying, they were saying Justin Watson, they were saying Sky Moore. They know multiple positions. There's multiple things they can do and how they can help us out. So when you have a guy like that, okay, inherently he has value. He does. Man, maybe not to us as fantasy owners, right? Maybe not to as that. He's not catching 80 balls or 60 balls a year. But he's doing enough for Andy Reid and those guys saying Sky Moore deserves to play. And so who am I who's sitting over here on the sidelines looking at it on TV, sitting there saying, oh, this guy right here sucks. We need to get rid of him. JD, you know you're supposed to get rid of this guy. Really? I'll tell you what, this guy right here has Super Bowl rings, okay? He contributed to some of those Super Bowl rings. And let's not mistake any of that for that, all right? I didn't. It wasn't me running my mouth. It wasn't anybody else sitting on the couch, sitting over using criticism on Sky Moore, okay?
But so did Tony, and he was cut. So there is a breaking point for helping us out in the past and what you did for Super Bowl runs, and it doesn't give you a ticket to the rest of the next season, right?
Kadarius Toney, from what we understand, okay, there was a lot of different things that was happening with him. There was a lot of issues, okay? So if some of that had to be contention with Andy Reid, okay, or maybe not working out like he should have, sometimes, his history of being hurt also was up against him. So there was a lot of things. I know we see that Kadarius Toney didn't show up during the offseason, during OTAs and stuff, right? So that's somebody who's not with the program.
Yeah.
So if I have a responsibility, you have a responsibility to us. Then say you bought in, guess what? I can forgive you for some of these things that you might not do so awesome, right? And some other guys, when I'm making a decision, do I look at this guy who was a first-round pick, who has all its ability, but somehow doesn't show up because it doesn't show up on off the field either? Do we keep this guy here who's doing everything in his power to try to be better? I'm taking the other guy. So I think that's how the decision was made with Sky Moore. And that's what I said. Like, I see the value. I see what he's doing out there. Okay. Everybody else don't, because he's just not catching the football.
Come on, baby. Go. Yes. That's a first down. It's a first down. It's a first down. This football season, I'll be putting down normal sodas like Coca-Cola for Olipop. Olipop offers a healthier alternative with its low sugar content and natural ingredients. Olipop is more than just a drink. It's a wellness companion that supports your digestive health. Packed with prebiotics, this fizzy elixir helps promote good bacteria in your gut, leading to improved digestion and overall well-being. So go ahead, click the link in the description and use promo code SODALOVE and get your can of Olipop so you can enjoy the game guilt-free. Go Chiefs. Use the promo code SODALOVE for 15% off now.
But sure enough, that sucker dropped something or runs the wrong route. Oh, get rid of Sky Moore. So I told him, I said, shit, send an email to Andy.
I'll say this, JD, because I know you mentioned the tweet I had during the game. All I do is I put Sky, I put the head palm emoji, and I said, I'm tired. I don't want to hear about the metrics anymore, because a lot of people always talk about, it's people saying that Sky Moore, he drops passes. He only dropped 2 in his career, like going into this game. And it's like, okay, right, but let's talk about right now. Let's talk tunnel vision on this season. So he drops his pass today, and I don't even know what the snap count was for him today. But looking at the previous games, so week 1 he had 10 snaps, 2 he had 5 snaps, and week 3 he had 15 snaps offensively. So you could say he's not getting the reps, right? But in the NFL, as we always talk about, JD, it's when you do get your playing time, when you do get your shot, you are supposed to make the most of it. That's why today, for example, we'll get into running backs later. Carson Steele, first drive of the game. He's already not on thin ice, but he's got Kareem Hunt, who everyone wants to see him get in and get some burn. We got some Samaje Perine back there, so you got to make the most of your opportunities. Your first drive, you fumble. It's your second fumble in the few short weeks you've been in the NFL. I say, okay, well, you missed your shot there. Now, Kareem Hunt and Samaje Perine pretty much split the entire game after that, and then we never saw Carson Steele. So I guess my thing for me, and I'm not saying to cut him, like that's stupid. Maybe let's get somebody else to get reps out there, because if you are in the short time you are getting a pass thrown to you, it's not often. He's not getting as many targets as Justin Watson, as you guys mentioned. But when you are getting that one target, should catch that. And that's where it's like, okay, he is getting more. He's getting more opportunity than a guy like Justin Ross, for example. I'm just using him as an example. He's getting more opportunity than McCole Hardman is, and McCole Hardman's also active as well. And it's like, I guess for me, it's like, at what point you were like, all right, let's kind of give somebody else the snaps that he's getting, the opportunity that he's getting. That's where I'm coming from it.
Well, hey, look, this is what I know. Okay, those guys are with him every single day. They manage his snaps, and they know how many they're looking for him to have. And if they feel like he was played too much, they would say so. And so if he had 15 snaps or 10 or whatever it is, yeah, you got to do your best with the snaps that you have, your opportunities. And so this was a blown opportunity. Yeah, you should catch the football. I agree with you 100%. Make the most of your opportunities. And if it doesn't happen, guess what? You're going to move back down on the totem pole. It's a performance-based business. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, well, shoot, he only got 10, make him the second receiver. I'm not saying that at all. You earn what you put in. That's bottom line. So I leave it up to Andy and those guys to make a decision. And what I get and what I trust is Andy or Pat throwing him the football, they trust him. They trust him enough to keep him in there, whether it's 10 snaps, 5 snaps, or 1. If he gets in it for the 1, they trust you for the 1. Okay? It's not like they don't have nobody else, but there is a crowded wide receiver room. We know that. So what does that mean? Yeah. What does Justin Ross come up here and all of a sudden he gets 20 snaps? Right? That's
it would be nice.
Before we change topics, I want to give, because your original question about Rice and how concerned we are, I want to actually answer that, because I am really concerned. I'll take the other side of this question, JD. I am extremely concerned, and here's why. We're basically rolling out the same core we had in 2022, except no promising Tony at that point. We got him for a good chunk of the season, so he's gone. Mm-hmm. Kelsey had almost 1,400 yards and 110 catches. That's not happening again. And neither is his 650 yards of yak. That's gone. Like that version, that's not that long ago, but that version of Kelsey, I know he's not declined as much as people say he is, but he's not that one anymore. He's not getting almost 700 yards of yak this season. It's not going to happen. So Juju's also not pulling in 80 for 940 for us this year. It's only been 2 years, but he's not the same Juju. So we're the same team. But I will say Worthy is a step up from MVS. MVS had almost 700 yards and almost 40 catches for us at the deep threat. So we have an MVS without the drops with Worthy, I will say. But everything else has dropped significantly. We don't have that true possession receiver. And Kelsey, I don't think, can take on 110 catches for 1,400 yards like he did. That's too much. If he does, he'll be toast by the playoffs. So we have to get help here. Like, there's a reason why we drafted Rice and then signed Hollywood and then drafted Worthy. Like, we needed help even then. And we traded a third round for Tony that year. So we are definitely combing the league to see who's available right now. If we aren't, I don't know what to say.
The question is, so who are you going to get? That's the question. And also, too, I think we are significantly better than we were in 2022. Not asking Juju we just need you to do what you need to do. Not more, no less. And so when I say that, based off our offense, Xavier Worthy taking the top off the defense for that bomb today shows exactly how much better he is than MVS. Okay? Nothing against MVS, but it's just what it is, right? You got a legit deep threat in this guy. He ran reverses. We gave him a little bit more on his plate today after Rashee Rice went out, and he delivered. So also, too, I would say our running game, we run the ball a little bit more effectively. Those guys up front a lot better than we were in 2022.
That was Pacheco's breakout year. He had the 830 for 170 carries, 4.9 a carry. So he did have a good year. He just didn't have a large volume that year.
So I would say Justin Watson's a little bit better. I would say Noah Gray's come in. He's shown what he's been able to do.
Sky Moore's the same.
Sky Moore might be the same, but we still overall is better. Okay, so it don't take one monkey to run no show. It's a group thing, and so the culmination of everybody in that room is better than we were in 2022. It is. So and so we don't know what Rashee Rice is going to do. I think that's all predicated off of where that goes with him, right? It's going to be out for a long time. It's going to be gone for the. Well, shoot, if he's gone for a long time, then yeah, absolutely. Shoot, you need to start turning over some rocks and see what you can do with a trade to get a guy here. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But other than that, Kareem Hunt comes in. We see what he's been able to do today. He ain't played in a long time. That sucker he ain't skipped a beat. That sucker look good.
Yeah.
And so we have a more reconditioned, reinvigorated Kareem Hunt running the football. You know, Carson Steele, Sam J.P. Ryan, they're giving something to us. So can we work around? Sure. I think we can. I think, but see, that's what I was saying before, Tej, is you can put all your eggs in one basket, but get other guys in there to see what they can do. Like, that's why I was one of those advocates for saying, yeah, how come McCole Hartman's not getting more reps? Sucker can run routes. We've seen him be a deep threat. We can see things he's been able to do. You think he's not a little pissed off? That Joker's pissed off while he's not been getting the reps.
Let me ask you guys a trivia question. To the first, I don't have the numbers from today yet, but through the first 3 weeks, how many offensive reps do you think McCole Hartman has had?
Like snaps?
Snaps.
Total?
Yeah.
Total?
Yeah.
7.
20.
4. So the first 3 weeks, he had 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
0 week 1, 1 week 2, 3 last week. And I think he had more than that today. Obviously, we kind of had a little shuffle there, a little rotation going today.
And by the way, as good as Worthy's playing, and we do value him more than MVS, obviously, it's consensus, he's still only on pace at this point for about what MVS had that year, 687 yards. So
that's kind of
we're 4 games in, and so Rashee Rice has been, getting the lion's share of everything more than anybody else. Kelsey, how many catches did Kelsey have today? Well, how many did he have?
7, I think.
7 for 90.
7.
7 for 89.
Okay. So if you divvy up getting it to Travis Kelsey, get some to Noah Gray, I think you can make these things work. It dependent upon where everything is with Rashee Rice. Okay. And now, like I said before, you might have to make a significant deal for a guy. Do you have the capital to do that? Do you want to spend something on a guy like that? That's another question.
Yeah, I know.
Do you think, I know you talk about Xavier Worthy as this deep threat, but he did a little bit of everything in college. And we saw at the end of the game, and I see Mike Brennan here saying how are you guys liking the fact that we iced the game with Pat hitting Xavier Worthy on a very Rashee Rice-esque route at a play that they kind of do with Rice a lot. How, I guess we don't know because he's a rookie, right? But we do know his college sample size. How expansive do you think his route tree can be, JD? And how much can he do it all? Can he be kind of a do it all kind of guy? I mean, I know he's a small frame and stature, but I mean, can we kind of see him do a little bit more than just be a deep threat?
Man, we haven't really asked these guys. There's nothing that he can't do that we run. Let me put it that way. There's no routes that we have. There's like, oh, okay, there's going to be a problem with him. I think everything that's the reason we brought him in, because he was so tailored to our offense that it looks so similar, is one of the reasons we got him here. And so you could say, oh, yeah, we have 4-2, but does he fit our scheme? Okay, we're not getting a fast guy. We want to get a guy that fits our scheme, the things that we do, right? The reverses, the slants, the deep routes when we need to. Sky Moore was perfect for those things. And so that's the reason we went after it.
Yeah. And a name I want to throw at you that's been kind of a guy that we've talked about in the past, JD, but it's a guy that apparently is on the trade block who teams have been calling the Titans about, is our guy that we had a whole offseason show about. We had a whole segment every week on our show last year, a DeAndre Hopkins sweepstakes. JD, would D-Hop be a guy that would be someone that obviously he's a little bit elder statesman. He's a little bit elder statesman, but I mean, I think he could bring something to the wide receiver room. Do you think that would be a guy that could move the needle a little bit if Rashee Rice is out for a significant amount of time?
Man, we get D-Hop here. They're going to talk about how bad his knees are, how old he is. He got grandkids. Look, we understand. It doesn't matter some of these jokers ain't gonna be happy. Would he bring something here? Sure. But then all of a sudden, you're going to start talking about D-Hop. He ain't 2018 D-Hop, right? His dreads, he ain't the, short dreads D-Hop. He ain't Arizona D-Hop. He ain't that guy. He ain't the Houston D-Hop. So we hear all those different things. So I'll let these guys handle it, man. They'll find somebody. See, Cooper. They say Cooper Kupp. I see somebody like he's hurt all the time. He's been hurt for the past 2 years. And
I believe he's talking about Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper's been the one who's been speculated to be on the trade block.
What's up with your boy? We ain't seen nothing from him.
Amari Cooper would be a very good Rashee. From what we asked for Rashee Rice, Amari Cooper would be a very good replacement for that, by the way.
JD, do you like Amari Cooper? Do you think he'd fit or no?
I like Amari Cooper. I don't think he fits in the offense. That's just me personally. I don't. He can catch anything. He can run any route. I love to have Amari Cooper. I was thinking about who's the little jitterbug that was with Vegas with the Raiders. Nobody signed it.
Renfrow.
Yeah, where's Renfrow at? Where's he?
He's still available.
Yeah, throw him a little cheese. Bring him out.
No way we'll get Devontae Adams. Everyone's got to just stop that right now. That's not happening.
Yeah,
Raiders will not trade us Devontae Adams. I don't think we can afford that anyway. Even if they said yes.
Let's ask for Justin Jefferson. Right? Let's just come on, man. This is what I'm talking about, Tage. This is it. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So unless we get Devontae Adams and Justin Jefferson, some people are just not going to be happy.
Realistically, I know everyone was talking about like these names we could trade for, the T. Higgins. Bengals wouldn't trade him to us. Devontae Adams, obviously, that's out of there. But I'm seeing Byron Pringle as a name that someone dropped in there, and MVS is also another name that I'm seeing people on Twitter talk about. And it would kind of go to what we did last year, JD. Mid-season, we need a receiver help. What do? We go for a guy who's already been in our offense before. We go for Mecole Hardman, and that would be more of the Brett Veach, Andy Reid kind of brand, bringing in a guy who already knows the system to come in and plug and play like we did with Juju like a week before the season started by bringing in MVS or Byron Pringle. Obviously, that doesn't move the needle, but I feel like that would be a move that is more realistic as far as the Chiefs doing. What do you guys think?
Conley Perry, listen, first I want to say to you, I let you live with the dream. Have the dream, man. Hope it's a reality. But I think the Chiefs have shut the door on MVS. That's my opinion. Because we talk about redundancy, right? We got Xavier Worthy, a guy like that, and maybe a Mecole Hardman. I don't think MVS is, like you said, is going to move the needle any.
Yeah.
We ain't going lateral. We need it's got to be a step up. It's got to be somebody in the same cachet as a Rashee Rice, guy that's going to give you a lot of catches.
Does the fact that Rashee Rice may miss a lot of time next year too, with possible recovery / suspension, also factor into who you might trade for, whether it be maybe like a 2-year option, not necessarily just a Band-Aid for 1 year?
I've heard people say this. We don't know what Rashee Rice's punishment is going to be. And I think a lot of it was contingent upon maybe his behavior this year. And he's been a Boy Scout. So I think that might factor in. And maybe they give him like a little bit community service, time served, or he could do some things during the off season to finish up whatever he needed to finish up to be ready for the season. Hopefully that they move it during that time, right? Because you do it during that time, you're going to stay out of trouble. But yeah, you could try to do that. Like I said before, who do you go get? There's a lot of guys I like.
Deontay Johnson's another guy whose name floats around too. Contract year. I don't know how much of a seller they are, but Carolina keeps losing games. Who knows? They might not be. They can get a pick for him or Cooper pick for him. Why not?
JD, ideally, realistically, who would be a guy you would want us to look at? Do you have a guy in mind that you think would fit our scheme and that you think would be realistic?
I'll tell you who jumped out to me. We just played him last week. Mooney.
That's true. I mean, we did have interest in him in the offseason.
Yeah. So I don't know, because he just signed the contract. You don't know what what that's going to look like. He's a guy that I like. They had Dotson's up there, went to Philly. I could, shoot, he'd have been a great guy to have here.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, seriously, I could speculate all I want. I could be far off from where they're thinking.
Tyreek Hill.
I think he's missing. I think he's got FOMO. He's fear of missing out with
you want to tweet out the thinking face emoji or the glasses fade, the monocle emoji right now.
Yeah, he does.
He wants to retweet that Rice news with a monocle emoji.
Yeah, he sees Kelsey and Hunt doing their thing. He's missing it. He needs to be part of that.
You guys need a receiver. We don't have a quarterback. Sounds like a good mix.
Them jokers ain't gonna let that go.
No.
There's no way the NFL would let that happen.
No, they've already let that happen once.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.